Welcome back to First Listens, that series where we listen to an album that neither of us have heard for the first time.
Today we're going to be listening to JOJI's Ballads 1. This is his debut studio album, and we thought we'd jump into this because he's got a new release coming soon.
I must admit, I've heard a couple of the singles off this, but I have never listened to a lot of the deeper cuts, so I'm really excited to dive into it and listen to Ballads 1. Let's kick it off with the first track, Attention.
Ooh. Little almost metronome ticking clock beat.
This is one that I've heard before. I remember seeing a YouTube video where there was a mic hanging from the ceiling. I think it was a Colours video. And I was like, this guy can sing. He's got some vocals.
When you cry, you waste your time over boys you never
Such a light, simplistic beat, matching those simplistic vocals. Oh,
It's just dirty, that, isn't it?
distortion. It's a very bold choice to have a level of distortion like that, but it works so well.
Smile for you. Now would you hate me if I said goodbye so quick you could eat my dust?
That's an interesting line.
Now would you hate me if I ran like hell in the wind from dawn till dusk? When you cry you waste your time over boys you never liked. Can you not?
I like that he ends the track with the distortion. Overall, it's quite a sad and introspective way to open your first studio album, isn't it?
It's a very bold way to open it as well, because you've got the kind of like half effort vocals where it's kind of like mumbly singing, and then you've also got the really heavy distortion, and those are two very, very choice things to do, but I think he pulls it off nicely there.
For some reason, it just has me swaying about the whole time.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the second track in the album, and what I believe is JOJI's biggest track so far in his discography, in Slow Dancing in the Dark.
So ethereal. This is literally one that makes you feel like you're levitating, and almost like it's something out of a video game like Stardew Valley or something.
That SpongeBob meme.
Yeah. Headphones in. I really like how clean the bass is when it comes in. Just adding that light synth on top for the chorus just opens it up. Adds an extra layer.
It's just super calming.
That's swell. I think everyone can remember the first time they listened to this song. Just how it just makes you feel so many emotions. Some beautiful harmonies there.
Just slight little changes in the instrumental to let you know that it's coming back to the chorus.
What a track, and what a single for this album. Like, I don't think it gets much better than that. And I do have a question for any JOJI fans watching. If Slow Dancing in the Dark isn't your favourite JOJI track, what is and why? I think personally, mine might be Pretty Boy, which is off a later album, but I think it'd be really hard to beat that.
For me, the way that it switches from attention with more relaxed, drawn back vocals to some really powerful vocals there, still keeping in with that calm instrumental, but you get to hear what he's all about and how well he can actually sing. But I don't know, he achieves a sound which I remember the first time I heard that, I felt like I'd not heard before. Obviously, that's a track we've all heard a bunch of times now, but in that moment, it was very unique. And even to this day, I think it stands the test of time.
Yeah, it is one of those tracks that you remember the first time that you hear it because it's just so different and it's so, I don't know, like genre bending almost in a way that you can't quite describe or put your finger on. But let's not linger. Let's jump onto the next track, which is Test Drive. It's a lovely bit of piano work on this album so far. Already, only 3 tracks in. And I'm really liking the percussion.
It's so minimal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's non-standard. Oh,
bit more energy.
Yeah, there's a little weird modulation in his voice as well. I love those little ad-libs in the background, just really high-pitched.
Very heartbroken so far throughout this album, isn't it?
Bless him. Poor JOJI, man.
So let me just pray again. You gon' jump through hoops. Know how many lines you'll do. Won't matter when you lose. Everything I've done for you. I'm looking for a long ride.
Some great production so far. The bass has always been so clean and everything stands in its own lane. You can hear every element really clearly.
Waiting on the ones who didn't fight. I told you not to waste my fucking time. I told you never sing the song you like. You gon' jump through hoops. Know how many lines you do. I'm looking for a long ride. She just wanna test drive. Dying on the west side. I'll see you in the next life.
I can imagine listening to that song on a big sound system with loads of bass. It sounds so good. Catchy, a lot more energy than the first 2 tracks. And I think that we probably needed that for a second after not quite a depression session, but a very slow start.
A depression session.
Not far off though, is it?
This is kind of showing us that less really is more, because all 3 of these tracks have had beats that are really stand out and, like, you know, you're really intrigued with them and you just flow with them. But there isn't actually all too much going on, but it's done in a way that is so nicely put together. I don't know how to put into words.
I was going to say, to be honest, I'm not quite sure why I enjoy it so much.
Yeah, that's why I'm struggling to kind of say what I want to say about it.
I think it just makes me feel really relaxed and almost at home. And I kind of think that's the goal of music sometimes. But let's go on to track number 4, Wanted You.
Weird little intro.
Kid Cudi entered the chat. That percussion is mad.
I didn't think the beat would work hearing it in the intro, but now I'm hearing it in here. Got the pots and pans out in the kitchen for this beat. Like, it feels like you shouldn't be able to find where the bars are, but you can.
Like a fairy. Sprinkles.
One of those, isn't it?
Yeah.
That beat is so intriguing to me.
The voice is almost kind of distorted, but not. It's like it's changing levels slightly sometimes mid-word. It might be the harmonies, I don't know, it just doesn't feel normal.
Yeah, there's something going on with the vocals on this part as well, because it doesn't quite sound like him. I don't know if it's like a chorus effect of him layering his vocals.
It's getting that pure emotion out. A bit, not quite angry, but a bit more grit to it.
A bit of angst.
Guitar solo, come on.
Oh man. Is this JOJI?
Probably not.
Is this somebody will let us know. Is JOJI playing this guitar solo?
And if you made it to this point in the video, we're 4 tracks in now, there's only one thing I wanted you to do, and that's hit subscribe. So hit the button now.
Another perfect example of less is more. I noticed with that track as well, where you thought there would be a crescendo where there was a couple of cymbal crashes and stuff like that, you felt like that would usually be something that ends up being quite loud in the mix. It was all very subdued and everything was at the same level with the vocals remaining where they were. And it added this really cool effect of, I don't know, it felt like it was building constantly. The whole song felt like it's getting to a point, but it never like shot upwards.
That might be because, at least so far, it's kind of been building every track. I think that was, again, the most energetic we've had, and especially with that really odd percussion in the background and that guitar solo at the end. I feel every track has got a little more energetic so far, and I've enjoyed the way that it's just slowly edged us in. Like you said, less is more, but we had more in that track than anything else so far in terms of different elements and different sounds.
So let's see what's up next with Can't Get Over You featuring Clams Casino.
Ooh, that's proper flying around the headphones. Ooh, I recognise this.
I really like that. Funky touch of bass. Oh.
I love this because we're here vibing and the lyrics are like, if I can't have you, no one can. And we're like, yeah.
Ooh, oh.
Tell me more, I got a box cutter with your name on it. Tell me more, I can't stay this long on the same topic. Would I fall in love with you? I don't have no social cues. I'm out for you. I can't get over you. Can't get over you.
This beat sounds like something that could be playing in the background of a Mario mission. You know, like when you're like running around. Jumping up little ladders and that. Into tubes. Pipes.
Pipes. What a funky little beat this is, man. So succinct as well. 1 minute 47. I would have liked for that to gone on a bit longer. I'm sad we're at the end.
Although I think it was a fun little track. It did what we wanted it to. Brought the tempo not up, but made us dance, made us have fun. And it's the first time that the depression session has ended, really.
What was
Although the lyrics were still quite depressing. I ignore that.
It's that kind of content where you just kind of go, let's forget about the lyrics. Let's just have a good time. But yeah, it seems that he is going for that route of like, I'm gonna deliver these heartfelt lyrics, but also here's a really funky beat for you to dance to. With that one, what was really interesting was the vocals were filtered and like coming through a phone. And the beat was clean and you could hear everything going on with the beat. Whereas on a couple of the previous tracks is the opposite way around, where the vocals are clean, but the beat is like filtered and it sounds a bit muddy. So that was an interesting kind of dynamic because it basically flipped the previous tracks on their heads.
I love that little metronome sound that started ticking around right at the start and just continued the whole way. I imagine if you've ever listened to that on headphones, it was just going the whole track. But let's move on to number 6, the halfway point. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. The halfway point.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I'ma fuck up my life.
Oh,
I'ma fuck up my life. We gon' party all night. She don't care if I die.
bless him.
Yeah, right, yeah, right.
Who did him dirty, man?
I don't know.
Yeah, I bet you won't try. But you know I don't mind. But you know I don't mind. Yeah, right, yeah, right.
Quite liking those light but sustained piano hits.
Ooh, that deep, distorted voice.
Demon?
I was questioning if it was a voice, but it definitely was.
What you know about life? What you know about blood? Bitch, you ain't even my type. Yeah, right, yeah, right. Yeah, you know I feel right. Yeah, you living right now. You don't ever pick sides. Yeah, but I know that she ain't never give a single fuck about me.
Oh, I like that little flow.
Yeah, you bet you know that we ain't never gonna be together, I see. Yeah, you better go to sleep when I'm feeling like a drum without a beat. Yeah, you dance so good, and I think that's what I need.
Giving the beat a minute to breathe, and it deserves it. I think this has probably been my favourite instrumental so far, you know.
This and the last track. Again, with subverting how the album's gone so far, in that the ad-libs on all the previous ones were high-pitched, and they were kind of like, you know, in the higher register. Whereas on this one, all of the ad-libs were really low and kind of a little bit demonic. So it's cool that it's switching it up there.
Yeah, his voice and whatever other voices have been used really well to just make slight little tweaks and changes in songs so far. I've noticed that. But for me, the standout on Yeah Right was that instrumental. It was so clean, but it still had enough energy to move around. So it kind of reminded me like of Attention, but if it was just turned up a little bit, just like drawn out and made into more of a full-fledged track instead of to focus on the lyrics so much.
But Joe, I've got a question for you. Why am I still in LA? Featuring Slow Mo and D33J, potentially Deej.
Were they asking the question as well?
I don't know. I think I've
Come on, let's
butchered
just
that.
carry
Let's
on.
just go into it.
To be fair, this is what I was thinking the whole time I was in LA.
Why am I
Why
here?
am I still in LA? And it was only for like 4 days, so...
Your favourite instrument? Little glockenspiel.
What a strange name, man. Now, every time they play a note, I'm just thinking glockenspiel. You've ruined it. got a real dark feeling to it, this, hasn't it? Oh. Distortion.
Dirty little bass line.
That cutout was nice. Just into the bass.
And the glockenspiel. Those slow guitar strums with the distortion. So calming.
Gone underwater.
Yeah. In the room next door, I think.
That track felt like more of a nightmare than a song, especially with the way that it built up into that really anxiety-inducing crescendo at one point. It's not something that we've had so far.
More like a bad dream. Don't think it was quite on nightmare level, but I know what you're saying, where it's kind of like it builds up to a point and then you're kind of like, oh, like that. And then you wake up a little bit and the badness goes and you just kind of go back into the dream again. Yeah, I know what you mean. It was interesting, that, because also the outro on it, I don't think I've seen anybody do that before, where for the last 20 seconds it just brings the volume down like, what, 80%? I think if I was in a car listening to that, I would genuinely turn the song back up again, because I'm like, what's happened here? And then it kicked back in. Yeah, but I enjoyed that. I think it was more of an adventure than the other tracks we've had. There was a lot more in terms of your crescendos and your swells and your build-ups to like this kind of point and then gone back out. And like we said, when it dropped out at that point, that was phenomenal. That sounded so good.
Well, it did sound good to us, but it sounded like JOJI had no fun.
And that's up next.
This is already vibing. You can just tell. Instant key change and that's it.
Yeah. The slightly distorted notes, so they're off key, but it still works.
Fuck my friends, they're gone. They all left one by one. And now the summer's done. They don't need no more fun. Yeah, drive around.
Even everyone says they don't want to come to the pub.
I'm rich but my AC broke. Don't check no mail, no phone. And I tell them I'm not home. And I keep to myself. Fuck with no one else. And I know it's my fault, but I don't care. And I keep to myself. Who are you to pretend? And I know it's my fault. It'll never end. Yeah, all my friends no fun. Yeah, all my friends no fun. Drive around on my own. Yeah, all my friends no fun.
See, you don't want to be like JOJI's friends, so let us know in the comments what your favourite song on Ballads 1 is. I'm intrigued to see what everyone says, because you mentioned it earlier, but I have a feeling a lot of people won't pick Slow Dancing in the Dark, so let us know what yours is in the comments.
Yeah, I can't get no sleep. I look so good in green. I run. Yeah, all my friends no fun. Yeah, all my friends no fun. Drive around on my own. Yeah, all my friends no fun. Yeah, all my friends no fun.
So again, such a weird beat, but it works so well.
Drive around on my own. Yeah, all my friends no fun. Yeah, all my friends no fun. Yeah, all my friends no fun. All they do is none. Yeah, all my friends no fun, no fun, no fun.
imagine if you were one of his friends listening to this.
Yeah.
What? We did loads of stuff together.
What are you talking about, man?
I thought that was a cool way to switch it up. A little bit repetitive, but it was just a fun little track one. It wasn't to be taken seriously.
Yeah, and that ending bit there when you're saying no fun over and over again. The words no fun stopped making sense in my head. It sounded like you were saying like no fun. I was like, what is this word? Yeah, I liked it. A bit of fun in the album for a track called No Fun. Ironic. I think it splits it up nicely, adds a little bit of joy.
I would say that he's done a good job of that so far in creating an album where there's clearly a lot of emotion and personal experience on show, but at the same time, just injecting a little bit of a smile, a little bit of energy.
I'm hoping with this next track, he's not talking to the friends that he said were no fun when he says come through. Because if I was one of those friends, I'd be like, fucking no way, I heard that last track. No chance.
It'll definitely be the same person that's broke his heart this whole album.
Oh, yeah.
Unless that was his friends.
Could be.
This is one that made it onto my playlist years ago. I didn't know till we clicked play.
I've literally only heard slow dancing off this so far.
See, my problem is I switched from Spotify to Apple Music, so I lost half my old playlist, and then we'll be listening to an album. I go, oh, I did like this once.
Out this swelling bass, just holding the track together. That snare clap just sounds so good. Proper itches my ears right.
Quite a cool line. ABBA on repeat, diamond like a dancing queen.
Big ups the ABBA. If you want us to do an ABBA listen, we probably won't.
No, but do tell us if there's any other JOJI projects you'd like us to listen to, because I've really enjoyed this so far. I'm sure we'd be up for it.
I think Nectar might be a good show.
Yeah, or when the new album comes out in a month, should we react to that when it comes out? I only just realised that he said he's swimming like Nemo.
On his own, again. I do like the similes that he's coming with for being alone, because with that track he's like, I'm swimming like Nemo, and you just think, oh, he's just on about swimming or whatever, but he's actually saying, because Nemo goes off on his own, doesn't he? So he's saying like, I'm on my own, but it's okay, I like being on my own.
It feels like a very our era reference as well, do you know what I mean? Because it was a kids film when we were growing up. I think Come Through kind of falls into the Test Drive and Wanted You category, where it's still somehow quite relaxed, but simultaneously has me moving about, and I think that's my favourite kind of track on this album. I've liked the little fun ones, I like the more slow and dark ones, but the ones that have got a bit more production and a little bit more going on while still maintaining that same JOJI feel is where it's at for me.
And they've got those kind of introspective lyrics as well, which I think is a big portion of JOJI's sound, is the lyrical content that he comes with. So regardless of what beat you've got, if you're listening to the lyrics and what's happening there, you're taking a whole new meaning to the track home, whereas some people be listening to it for the beat like I usually do, and you're just hearing this good, fun track. Listen a bit deeper. Oh my God, this man's hurting.
Yeah, it's sad. Up next is R.I.P. featuring Trippie Redd. And I just wanted to point out, we've reacted to a lot of albums. Recently, XXX Tentacion, we've done Machine Gun Kelly, we've done loads of artists. And I've seen Trippie Redd feature on about 1 million songs now. In from like 2017 to 2020, was he just on every album ever?
I'm going to say it again every time we have Trippie Redd, which is there's only 1 or 2 tracks of his that I actually enjoy him on. There was one with Diplo that I really liked. But I've just never understood the hype behind Trippie Redd. But he must be really well respected or a really fun guy to work with for him to feature on so many albums when in reality, this really doesn't have that many features on it, and most albums that we've listened to don't. So there's something about him. Should we listen to a Trippie Redd project at some point? And if so, which Trippie Redd project? Because we'll have no idea.
Yeah, not a clue. And to be honest, I don't know if I want to. I quite enjoy him as a feature. He actually is quite a good feature for it, but I don't remember hearing a Trippie Redd song and going, that's a banger. Let's see if this is though. R.I.P.
Tryna find your love, put your love above. Baby, all we need is trust. No one over us, no one over us, no one over us. Yeah, me and you and I would die for you, do or die for you.
Their voices do work well together, and I think this beat was the perfect beat to Trippie onto.
I'm not sure if I've completely imagined it, but in Trippie Redd's first verse, it sounded like he used loads of auto-tune. And then the last little bit there, it didn't sound like he'd used it, or at least nowhere near as much. And I think the second verse was way better because of that, and blended more with JOJI's vocals because of that. The first one felt a little bit out of place to me because it went from JOJI, who has quite a drawn-back singing style, to just auto-tune central, but then the last bit didn't. It was a bit weird.
I think it was because his voice was moving around more, and the way that Trippie Redd's auto-tune works is it's jumping in from note to note. So because he was being very, like, he had these long legato notes going on where he was just drifting between the different notes, I think it works nicer. And that track has actually made me go, you know what? Without as much auto-tune on his voice, I think I do like his voice and the way that he delivers words. I really like that wow shit that he does. Something about it's like one of those fucking, you know what I mean? Those turny things. One of them. He's got that kind of style to it, and I think actually.
This is the type of reaction content you come here for, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already subscribed, you've got to do it for Tim's impression.
I genuinely think that track might have put me on the right path to being somewhat enjoying Trippie Redd, because I respected that. I thought that was a really good track.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent track. Anyway, let's go on to the second to last track, XNXX.
XNXX.
XNXX. Next.
It's spooky. It's got like a little chain rattle in the background as well.
I don't really wanna run around. Yeah. Time is going slow and I don't mind. Yeah. Tell me if you know I'm really fine.
This is like
fuck around a bit and get it right. Yeah.
the most
church bells.
Yeah. But I think this is the most pronounced his voice has been on this whole album.
Hard to think about you anymore, but I keep you in my mind always. Call me on the phone last night.
Is it Steel Pan? I don't know that one sound, I'm just concentrated on.
I think it might be tubular bells. The big ones where you hit them on the top. Like kind of like a giant wind chime.
Bring back the glockenspiel. Well, rather succinct, didn't it? A little bit more energy. I really liked some of the sounds they were using there, as I referenced a few times. To be honest, I don't really have much more to say. It kind of felt very fitting with the album, but just not particularly exciting, to be honest.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't one that grabbed my attention massively, but I really enjoyed the instrumental that was going on in the background. And also, it felt like I was saying halfway through that, it was the most pronounced that JOJI's voice had been. Like, you could understand every word that he was saying rather than it kind of being like slightly mumbled into the other words, where sometimes if you didn't have the lyrics, so people are like, what did he say there? That felt like it was very clear and, you know, to the point.
Well, we're on to the last track and the longest track in the album, I'll See You in 40.
Oh. That's a crazy sound.
Sounds like an intro to a 1975 song.
Always got to bring him up, haven't you? The ukulele. Modulated voice.
Whoa. A wild intro. A very strange song.
Sounds like a flute.
I mean, that was a very unique way to end the album. Wasn't really the most enjoyable track in and of itself, was it? But it fit in with the theme of testing out different sounds and trying out different things, I guess.
Yeah, it was definitely JOJI being JOJI in the most JOJI-ist way. I don't know if JOJI-ist is a word, but it should be. I don't really know how I feel about that track because it was so all over the place. We had that little ukulele intro into the guitar and then just immediately kind of like blended too fast back into the ukulele. Crazy way to end an album, but he does what he wants to do, and I respect him massively for that.
On Ballads as a whole, it felt very personal, and I noticed on that last track and on Attention and a couple of others, JOJI is the only writer, and that personality and his musical personality really does shine through on this project, whether it be through the production, the really drawn back vocals that you don't see too often, and then paired with really quite like energetic, great vocals. You can tell he's an amazing singer, but I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that it just feels very unique and like JOJI. It's like we've just got a glimpse into a little bit of who he is, a little bit of what he's been through, a little bit of his emotions, but also the sound that he wants to put out, and it doesn't sound like other artists.
Yeah, he's kind of using his voice dynamically in a way that perhaps isn't so obvious, but when you actually listen to the tracks, and like I say, some are pronounced more with the words, some are less pronounced. Sometimes he's got the filter on the voice, sometimes he's got the filter on the beats. The beats themselves being something that, you know, should definitely be spoken about, because there was a lot of non-standard stuff going on in this album, and I'd like to imagine that JOJI probably did a lot of the production for this, and a lot of it was, like I say, less is more. And people think, oh, with a less is more beat, that's so easy to do. I'd argue it's the complete opposite. To get a good beat that doesn't have that many elements to it is a lot more difficult than having this overproduced slop fest. And I think that he's absolutely nailed it there. And I was a lot more surprised with that and thought it was better than I expected to think. I knew it would be good because I do enjoy Joji's music, you know, from the singles that I've heard and from his Filthy Frank era. I know that I like him as a musician. But as far as it goes for this album, it's definitely higher in my rankings than I would have put it.
I know that he'd been making music for a hot minute before this, but to say this is his first studio project, the first one that he really wanted to put out as an artist, as a full album, I'm quite impressed with the way that it flowed and held a lot of the same key elements throughout it and kept you on path without being too repetitive and boring. The only gripe for me, I do think the lyrics were quite repetitive in a few of the songs, especially the more energetic ones. I did find myself towards the end of them where I was a bit like, all right, I've heard this line 25 times now. I'm ready to move on to the next thing. But luckily, those tracks were generally quite short, so it didn't cause me too much grief.
And also, just to shout out to the features on this album, I think you can definitely feel where the features are. Like the Can't Get Over You, that beat felt so different to everything else. And that was the track, I think, where the beat was prominent and the vocals were filtered rather than the other way around, which is kind of him saying, you know, this Clams Casino, I imagine, is a producer or a beat maker or something. So he's putting the focus on them rather than himself. And I think that he's clearly chosen these artists for specific reasons. And again, with Trippie Redd, why he's on so many albums, I don't know. I mean, that was a good song, but there's clearly something about him that's decent.
Well, that was Ballads 1. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and do let us know whether it be a JOJI project or any other projects that you think we'd enjoy. Tell us in the comments.
Thank you very much for watching.